Hello fellow Helldivers, Thornton here, and today we're going to be exploring the Illuminate. Now we do have a full list of all the units that we can be expecting, what their strengths, what their weaknesses are, and how to best prepare for when this invasion happens. But without further ado, let's start talking about the Illuminate. So as Helldivers, we have been patiently waiting for the third faction to come to the game, the Illuminate, since the game launched back in February. However, we've only gotten hints and teasers at them in game. However, thanks to Draculosaurus Rex, he actually put a list of the full Illuminate roster and the details surrounding them, and we also have some images and leaks due to the data miners to give us a full idea of what to look for. And the first one we're going to go over is the Observer, which is an Illuminate scout unit, a small levitating robot eye squid thing. In Helldivers 1, it was cloaked at all times, so you're not going to be seeing this when you're running around on the map unless it was spotted directly by players, at which point it sounded an alarm that caused other Illuminate units to teleport in before recloaking itself and running away. Iron Sights was actually able to show us what this would look like in game, and as you can see here, it is a pretty large unit and it moves around through the air, floating around. Now, the second one we're going to go over is the Ghoul, and this is a melee unit appearing as a mutated savage Illuminate who attacks with claws. Early leaks actually had this as a large monster comparable to the Hulk from the automatons, but now it seems that it's actually been changed to infantry size. It's believed it's been brought onto the battlefield by the summoner, which we will go over in a couple minutes. As you can see here, this is actually the Ghoul animations right now, and it does appear that it's crawling out of a portal on the ground, which does seem to back up the fact that it is summoned by, well, the summoner. Now, the next one is going to be the Adept, and this is where magic starts to come in. It's something we haven't actually seen in Helldivers 2 yet, and this is also referred to as the Mage. It's an infantry unit who hovers. It has some of the same nanite mind control abilities of some of the Helldiver 1 Illuminate units, and it's unclear right now if it has any leaked projectiles, but from the image of the Adept that we can see here, it does hold a book, and it is a magic-based thing. It was actually pointed out by Iron Sights that it does a little finger gesture, so it does seem that it has projectiles that shoots out of its fingers at enemies, or, well, you know, us. Now, the next one is going to be the Outcast. It's a hooded infantry unit equipped with a beam gauntlet. It resembles the Helldiver 1 unit called the Hunter more than the one called the Outcast. The Hunter is a sniper unit and the Outcast was a cloaked melee unit, so we don't know exactly how this will function yet, but Iron Sights did this beautiful render right here of it with the beamer weapon, and it seems that it will also have a force field. So the sniper build does seem very realistic. Now, the next one after that is going to be the Summoner, which ties into that Ghoul, which it can, summon. This is a caster unit that seems a step up from the Adept, and it wields a gauntlet lined with crystals that levitate out of it to form a whip, or possibly shoot energy beams. And as stated earlier, it's believed to summon the Ghoul units onto the battlefield. Once again, Iron Sights was actually able to show us this, and in its hands you can clearly see it does have the whip. There are some animations, and it overall seems like a Lord Sauron kind of villain. I actually like this character a lot and really can't wait to fight against these guys. There are two types of units called the tripods. The first one is a gigantic walker robot. It's basically something from War of the Worlds, and they're much smaller and had short range electrical burst weapons. They have been changed substantially for the second game, and Iron Sights was actually able to render this in game, so you can see what it looks like. It's an absolutely massive unit, but there is going to be an even bigger one, and that is the Tripod Mark II. And it's pretty much the same, but more robust and has even more armor. It also gets a similar upgrade to the Charger/Charger Behemoth that appears on higher difficulties. I imagine that they're first going to bring in the tripod, and then just like when we got the Escalation of Freedom update, this will be a unit that comes in later on down the line. We're going to move into some stuff that we haven't seen that much yet. Now, the first one is going to be the Council Member, and this is a robed Illuminate sitting on a hover chair. He was the most powerful of the caster type enemies. He's capable of teleportation, mind control, and various area of effect or ranged attacks. It is also called the Illusionist, at least in other game files, and you can see this image that Iron Sights did right here with the animations. It's interesting that they have mind control. I think that this is going to cause a lot of friendly fire situations, but it'll be interesting to see how this mechanic actually works in the game. The other one is going to be the Guy, and this is a heavily armored Illuminate infantry unit, and they have a dual wield where they can wield a staff, or it can go ahead and use an axe. The staff also can be a ranged attack, and is presumably one of the elite infantry units compared to a heavy devastator or brood commander. Here you can actually see it with the Illuminate axe, which is a close range melee weapon, and the Illuminate spear right here, which will shoot the projectiles afterwards. There will also be the Obelisk, and this is a heavily armored robot tank unit from Helldivers 1, and it teleports around while projecting shield walls that block your ability to move around and could insta-kill anyone caught in their path when projecting, which means that this is going to be a very powerful enemy type. We actually haven't had any models or leaks so far yet for Helldivers 2 for this, but we are able to actually look at it in Helldivers 1, and as you can see, it is a pretty round, large unit, and has a number of weapons, resilience, and armor class, which is heavy. This is overall going to be the units we know of so far. That being said, this is 10 total units, which is 2 less than Helldivers 1 had with the Illuminate, and it's also smaller than the rosters of the Automatons and Terminates. The last thing to know about the Illuminate before they come in is that they are going to have 3 different encampment types, with a light one, a medium, and a heavy, and then they will also have a stronghold like the other enemy faction. Let me know down below, what are your guys' thoughts on some of these enemy types coming in? Do you think that there will be any that are overpowered, or do you think that we will get some buffs, hopefully to our weapons, that will make it a little bit more viable? Also, don't forget to check out this video and this video right here, where I cover more news and information on Helldivers, and until next time everyone, thanks for stopping by. Keep spreading democracy.